When I was a kid, every Christmas Eve, we went to my Uncle Timmy and Aunt Mary's house. And that was also where my grandparents lived downstairs in an apartment. And my grandfather would dress up as Santa Claus every year. And it was absolutely a magical night, my favorite night of the year. And on the drive home, we would always check the sky for Santa to make certain that if he came home before we were asleep, he would skip our house, so that couldn't happen. So one year my dad looked up and said, "Is that blimp following us?" And there it was, hanging up in the sky. It was a 45-minute drive, and that blimp came all the way home with us. And we knew it because we were checking for Santa the whole way. When we got out of the car, it started playing a message, "Merry Christmas to you and your family." My parents were hysterical. And that was just one of the crazy things that happens in the sky that gets me so excited. Good morning. Day 39 of Turquoise Rising. I've been looking up ever since. Our family vacations were always on lakes and beaches. Every year, Lake George, Cape May, Ocean City. And I remember the sunsets being spectacular. And everything felt so perfect on those vacations. And I think that's when I first started to notice it and how beautiful nature really was. My mom always pointed out full moons. "Look at the moon. Look up at the moon," she would always say. And she really did look up. And that was something really special in her. She looked for signs. And when I first moved to Florida, I was at an oceanfront restaurant with my Aunt Arlene in Deerfield Beach. She's my mom's sister and my godmother. And we noticed people looking off into the ocean and filming. And we're like, what are people doing? And what's that orange thing? And that's the first time either one of us had ever seen a moonrise. It's the coolest thing. It's like a giant sunrise coming from the horizon, except it's an orange moon coming up from the end of the sea. And if you haven't seen one, please make sure you do. And ever since that night, she and I try to see as many moonrises as humanly possible. In my life, I've been so lucky to live in Long Beach, New York. It's a barrier island that faces south, so it's different than any other beach in the United States. We had sunrises to the east and sunsets to the west. And the sunsets just itch out the sunrises to me. You just get a little bit more color with the sunset. But sunrise is so incredibly special to me because it's the start of the day. And every sunrise is a fresh start to me. And that's just poetic and exciting, and it's just like the best way to start the day. I actually saw one of the best sunsets of my life in Vail. Many in Vail I'll never forget. And then when I lived on the East River in Long Island City, my apartment looked right up 42nd Street, and I would catch Manhattan Head every year, which was incredible. And then just a couple nights here in West Palm Beach, the sky was on fire 2 nights ago. Stunning. In Colorado, it was the stars in the Rocky Mountains in Summit County. It was so much darker there, almost 10,000 feet closer to the stars, with so much less background light than any of the cities. I'd never seen that before, and I became so obsessed with looking at the stars. And driving home late at night from Denver up through the mountains, I would see 5 or 6 shooting stars in one night. Just absolute magic. And a few years ago, I was on a flight home for Christmas to see my family, my nieces and my nephews and my friends, and of course was so excited for the holidays. And I watched this movie, it's an old movie called Last Christmas. It was so perfect. I think I cried on the plane because the movie itself takes a really dark turn at the end. But there was one line that ran all the way throughout the movie. And that line has stayed with me ever since. The line's always look up. The whole movie was about not missing the little things that are really the big things in life. And it hit me so hard because that is how I live my life. And that is how I have just chosen. I get up early, I grab my coffee and sit on the beach in Long Beach in the freezing cold. It made no difference to me. I always know what time the sun rises, and I always know what time it sets. And I'm so intentional about being there to see it. If it's raining and the sun comes out, I always look for a rainbow. I don't want to miss one. I want to catch it every single time. This allows me to always wonder. I always wonder what I'll see next. And I believe that these colors and these images that we see are gifts from God. And the sky is God's canvas. When I look up and wonder with admiration, what's next? And the most amazing part to me is you'll never see the same thing twice. It's always something new and something mesmerizing. But you have to pay attention and you have to look. And where does the sky meet everything that I'm building now? It's the opportunity. You have to be there. You have to look for it. If you skip the looking, you'll miss it. And if you never try, there's zero chance you're going to have that joy. My photography is all about landscape and playing with light. And that light is usually a sunrise or a sunset, a storm, lightning. And I once caught the exact moment lightning struck 42nd Street over the East River. It was a shot of a lifetime. I love light, and I love to play with light, and I love to look for light. And it's my recalibration and my reinvention and my chance to shine my own light. This is what it means to always look up. I'm Kimberly Sheahan, founder of the Turquoise Collective, and this is my reinvention. 90 days unfolding live, unfiltered, held on a camera, one day at a time. Most mornings, Rico and I walk the beaches and Intracoastal of Palm Beach, where I voice record my thoughts, my stories, my reflections, and chase the light. I enrich them through my writing. Then from the balcony, I hit record and share it here. This is day 39. If you're in your own reinvention, come and walk with Rico and I. Subscribe below and rise out loud.